Hey guys, Dark Humility here with my final, and I mean final, Blade Sin update. So in my last video, I think I told you all that I wasn't really sure, maybe not even necessarily feeling like I was gonna make another one. What I'm gonna do here is actually make a pretty quick update, show you guys my current gear and demos, and go through it. But I just had to make another one because after killing all those pinnacle bosses and getting even a bunch of even just better jewels overall and just rounding out the build, um, I had to show off, of course, pretty much the final culmination of my solo self-found hardcore project for season 11. I am starting to wind down the project. I'll be doing it for about 2 more weeks and that's it. So at this point, I'm pretty confident that we should just show this off one more time and show you guys the very first character that I made on this project and just how far she has come as we begin to approach the end of it. At any rate, we're going to go over the stats, the skills, the gear, the mercenary real quick, but we're not necessarily going to explain anything, just going to kind of mouse over them, and then I'll do some quick demos so you guys can see just how powerful she has become. At any rate, enough strength to wear the gear. We have Dex for max block. We have about 10,000 10,800 attack rating if you don't count the fake attack rating from Claw and Dagger Mastery, which is not real. I do have some extra points in that for Blade Sentinel for bosses, though. We have max vitality and nothing in energy. Res, we can have, so if I swap out a couple pieces of gear here, I can actually swap out, maybe lose a little bit of cold res, lose like 1. I can have 75 poison res, so our res is fine. It just kind of depends on what map I go towards. I can kind of swap out some small terms. Our damage on the sheet, once again, Claw and Dagger Mastery kind of distorts that quite a bit. It's 19k, but in reality it's more like 15k. 15 to 16 or something like that. And then as you can see, our light res is very stacked, cold res not stacked, and poison and fire not really stacked. 51% damage reduction, a little bit overcapped for amp, which is nice. Some hit recovery, so that negative hit recovery doesn't hit us super hard, and so that if we get hit really hard, we're not in totally bad shape. That being said, Sins luckily have good attack hit recovery frames, so it's not a big deal. We have some attack speed because with Fade, we need a decent amount of attack speed so that our wind up on Blade Fury is good, and it also helps out Blade Sentinel attack speed, which is not an insane frame, but it's okay since I do use Fade on this build for the curse duration reduction, the percent damage reduction, and the huge amount of res it gives, so that I can focus on putting a whole bunch of enhanced damage elsewhere in my gear. And then, of course, we have Life Leech and Mana Leech. That's our main sustain, but we also have the Redemption Aura from Phoenix. Negative enemy physical resistance is a very big part of this build, hitting 13% between the weapon and the Soul Drainer. You might be thinking, wait a moment, isn't this weapon supposed to be used for Mind Blast? And you'd be right, but in Season 11, you have so much negative enemy physical resistance in 2 skills, which are pretty huge at scaling Blade Fury, in addition to all the other stats as well, which are not bad, decent enhanced damage, and so on. So yeah, it's pretty crazy strong, considering we have a solid corruption on one as well. It's going to be hard to beat. Of course, we have now this time we actually have almost 75% Deadly Strike, and the way we achieve that is 2 low runes here. We have Deadly Strike here, and we have whatchamacallit, actually, oh yeah, that's right, High Lords. So yeah, we got High Lords plus all that Deadly Strike. You could use Gore Riders instead of War Traps, and honestly that'd be better for your damage, but I did want to maintain at least some Magic Find on this character. But overall, you could also swap a low for more AD or elsewhere, but I decided to upgrade that. So there's actually 2 low runes in it now. And yeah, we still have 50 MF, which is not bad. But as you see, We've definitely swapped out some things, but I'll go over that in a moment. Our skill distribution is the same as last time, so we have Max Blade Shield Fury Sentinel, and 1 point of Dragonflight, 1 point of Venom, Max Fade, and the rest of the points into Shadow Warrior, and some extras into Claw and Dagger Mastery as well, just for some small improvement to that. I kind of split it a bit, but you could definitely dump all into Warrior if you don't care about boosting that for the extra crit chance or for Blade Sentinel, because that's all it would give you is the crit chance, unless you're using Sentinel, and then gives you everything. So that's kind of cool. So you can see Sentinel damage, very high damage. You can go into the Mercenary. Now the Mercenary has also been upgraded, so in addition to hitting some better stats in some regards, particularly in regards to damage and deadly strike, we have, of course, improved the Mercenary. The Mercenary has some life leech, as he should. He should have always had that. I didn't realize the last setup did not have that, so he has an Amarin in there now. Lava Gouts for some enchant. Sigurd Staunch, because he gets a huge amount of DR from that. I even put a Burr Rune and a Striking Cyclopean Roar. So yes, we've actually found 2 of these now. And one of them I got an all-res corruption on. I tried puzzle boxing it, unfortunately only one, but I put a Burr there for a damage reduction because he doesn't really have any. And it, oddly enough, super tanky even without it, just because he's got high defense and high res. But if you put the Burrow in there, he's got % damage reduction as well. And the fast run walk, so his responsiveness and fast run walk is insane. The Innocence, of course, proccing both Battle Cry and Amp, which makes the responsiveness of my damage even higher. So it's pretty crazy stuff for that Whirlwind Mercenary there. Very strong. Anyway, of course we have this one here. We got Call to Arms with 5 battle commands. Our highest battle command. Battle command's the only thing that matters on this because we have both from the Mercenary, and we have an Ethlid list there as well. Of course, we have a Steel Shade with 2 sockets, and the attack speed ED jewels are in the helm as they should be. And then, of course, we have a high ED strength, dex, strength, sorry, not dex, minimum and maximum damage jewel in there. Very solid 39, I think, and then 2 low runes for the deadly strike. Also, you'll notice here we have a corrupted, desecrated High Lords, all res and max all res. Thank you, Lucian. And then Phoenix, still got that Phoenix there. As you can see, the jewels in here have also been a bit improved. More ED, fast hit recovery, more strength, more dex, and some cold res. And then we got a Raven Frost with res to make up for the fact of losing some res elsewhere to get more AD. And then we got the Ward Trap still for damage and for MF. And we got the block. Chance of blocking, really good. Definitely could use more of that. That's why we have Steel Shade for the block rate and chance of blocking. But considering Phoenix doesn't give a huge amount by itself, it's very nice to have that extra block and block rate, and also the damage reduction and the MDR are very solid. We got basically a perfect corruption on an 8 PDR Bulkathos Deathband. The all attributes is solid. Too bad the enhanced damage isn't higher. And a Deadly Strike Soul Drainer, one of the best corruptions. You guys have probably seen this stuff before. I actually have this now, though, a Life All Res Large Charm, which is kind of nuts. Assassin, Torch, still got that really good one. Same trap GC setup I think I showed off last time. I think so. Haven't really been able to get those insane ones, even after a couple more rounds of rerolling, but it is what it is. Using a lot of all res small charms now, because once again making up for lack of res in some previous jewels we've had, just focusing on more damage. And life res there as well. And you might also recognize this as well. This was from my 3rd Rathma kill, and my best Annie ended up getting plus skills. So yeah, definitely more damage for sure. More survivability where I need it, and just more damage in the jewels. And the Deadly Strike is actually pretty much max now, so she is a monster. Let's just show off how powerful she's become. And of course I'll start out with a whatever map. This one's got negative cast rate, so the responsiveness might not be 100% there, but overall it's gonna be solid. Nice. Sometimes you gotta wait for that battle cry, but he can also cast battle cry himself. Now, what some people might be asking is why not Might Mercenary, since I am proccing both battle cry and amp with the Mercenary. And the truth is, I could go Might Concentrate. However, I feel like with Whirlwind, you get more coverage of his striking, and also the bow gives me more health. So while I could potentially go full-on Might Mercenary here, I think it's pretty solid, even if I don't. But you'll see the damage is nutty either way. You could definitely go, I'd say like once you get Innocence on striking Cyclopean and Vile Husk, you could definitely justify going Might instead of Whirlwind. But you'll notice with Whirlwind, just in general, like, you know, he's constantly moving around a lot more, he's hitting more monsters, and he's proccing things on more enemies, so you'll notice that just in general. But my damage is so high now that everything's just melting. Of course, right now I have a skill shrine, so that makes it even more insane. But yeah, clearly tier 1 maps are kind of a joke. This character's meant for better things, right? Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, we could destroy this map in record time. Make sure to get my Blade Shield, my Venom, and all that fun stuff up there. And if they're Fizz immune, can definitely take care of them. Might have to wait for the procs a little bit. Well, the Merc's basically instantly proccing everything, which is pretty awesome. I'd say on softcore, I don't know, like offensively and defensively, the Whirlwind Mercenary has a lot of advantages, and while I can get some more damage with that, you know, my more sheet damage too, I'm not sure it's 100% worth losing the extra health and whatnot. I'm finding some pretty nice items despite lowering my MF. And you'll see there that Fizz immune Ghoul Lord with both Battlecry and Amp just goes down easily. That's definitely a +1 over using like a Reaper's Act 2 Mercenary, for instance. Something a lot of people really discount is how annoying those really high physical res monsters that are far above 100 can be if you're not able to just kill them straight up. Also, the level battle cry he gets when he casts it himself as well is higher too, so that's always good too when he gets that and he's not proccing it immediately. But he procs both of them and they stack on top of each other. It's just really good stuff in general. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show of that map. I mean, you can see it getting absolutely obliterated. Let's see here. You have some interesting items there, at least mildly interesting. You could try corrupting the Jalals. No. Brick, nice, good job, okay. Shakos, I don't know, am I even using a Shako on any character currently? Probably not, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Okay, so let's see, this one. Yeah, we're gonna go Ancestral Trial. I'll show you guys a tier 2 now. Yeah, another benefit, of course, of Whispering Mirage is more of a hardcore thing, but having 2 shadows is nice, particularly when your block rate isn't 32. I think I've said in a previous Sen video, of course I go way more into detail on my build in previous videos on this character, so if you guys want to know how to make one, or in general what your options are, I definitely recommend watching my mini guide and demo from the season start, from closed beta, or of course, just checking out a previous video here. But yeah. One thing to note is when you're playing this build efficiently, you kind of just want to keep jumping from place to place. Oh, poison damage is kind of nutty. I'm gonna keep my cold res though. I think I'm okay on that. Engines of Destruction are tanky boys. But yeah, I mean, you can just see my damage is pretty crazy. Just keep on chaining those dragon flights to get as much damage coverage as possible. Oh man. Mercenary needs more potions than I ever will. Yikes. Yeah, I think that was a cold enchant conviction there. Yeah. That actually hits pretty hard. I used to have a bit more res padding on this character, but now she's definitely gotten a bit more offensive. Put in some of her basic defenses to the wolves, unfortunately. Of course, it's not a big deal, but I mean, just gotta be prepared if you hear the conviction sound and instantly pot, potentially. Just in case some more damage comes your way. Oh man. Oh boy. Even without the battle cry and the amp and whatnot procs, it's pretty insane. Of course, with them, it just everything dies in one shot for sure. Oh man, oh man. Minions of Destruction are a little troublesome. Honestly, I think that mod comes up disproportionately often this season. Pretty sure it's a bug. They'll probably fix it next season. Feels like you have to deal with them so often. Combat Shrine. Well, that's gonna trivialize everything. Damage goes even higher. Yeah, look at those tanky dudes just go down instantly. Crazy. But at any rate, I think you guys get the idea. And then of course we'll go to a tier 3. Let's see. Yeah, tier 3. And then we'll also do a cow map, because why not? No, I don't need one of those. That's fine. We actually picked up a lot of shards there. That's kind of cool. Mana Leech Shaco. What a shame. Wow. That should be kind of cool if it had like poison introduction or something for Rathma, but it doesn't. Alright. And the final two that we will show off on this particular character. Go Ruined Cistern. Now Ruined Cistern has let's see. What are the stats on this one? Okay. Yeah, it's fun. And remember, of course, you can always be a little bit more defensive. You always can. If you want to like start out a map or whatnot and you're not sure what's gonna happen. But this is a tier 3 just getting absolutely shredded at this point. I don't know if you guys have seen her quite this powerful before, but yeah, she's I would say we did pretty good with her solo self-found. I mean, if this character is any indication, it's pretty insane. And I even have some wisp projectors I could use for a bit more damage. But then I'd lose some PDR. I definitely think the PDR is pretty essential considering how we play her. She definitely lost a lot of her stacked res and things of that nature though. See how tanky those shadows are, it's actually kind of crazy. And the Merc actually isn't constantly dying anymore because he's got life leech and he's got DR, so he's got a huge amount of defense. I definitely use my 15 DR string of years if I wanted the Merc too. But yeah. Now if you fight the boss, of course, make sure to get your poison res back. Don't do it with low poison res like me, you know. Yeah, the damage is just absolutely crazy. Of course, the boss would also get shredded too, but you know. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I should kill the boss, let's see. Gotta find where the boss is, though. If I kill the boss, get rid of some of the, like, bonus fighter res. Don't really need that. There we go. 72. I'm not actually sure, though, where the boss is, though. It's probably like over here somewhere. Something like that. But yeah, you can see my res is actually normalized now. This is with a negative max res map, so definitely have some res down there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna use Sentinel. I want to show you guys just how fast you shred this crazy boss here. Possible. Yeah, so like I said, the Mercenary gets better coverage, I think, like with this type, but with Mitre on the Mercenary, you could definitely do that, and the damage would just go even higher. Kind of cool though, is a Stalker's Cold could make us chain a bit faster. But man, you would lose so much negative res though. So yeah, even like the highest tier monsters just get shredded. This character's done all except for one of my Imperial Palaces. I did one of them with my Fortified Smiter. So that's kind of cool. I think this is the boss, yeah. There we go. Oh man, look at that. Of course, can't amp it, unfortunately. But yeah, that's just, that's some shreddage right there, man. That is brutal. Alright, let's see. And let's show her off in Blood Moon a bit, because Blood Moon is pretty OP on this character. Let's see. Yeah, see, like I said, I have some small charms here I can swap out. I just have so many good res charms. I can swap them out depending on the type of map, whether or not the map has like base negative res, the main elemental damage types of the monsters in the map, that kind of stuff. My res is a little finicky with this current setup because it's just so damage focused. So to have a couple small charms here and there I can just swap out is very useful potentially. Alright, and of course, one last one. And hopefully you guys enjoy the ultimate power being able to achieve on my first character. Because man, is it crazy stuff. I gotta say, when you get that max deadly strike and this is some crazy garbage. It's crazy stuff for sure. Oh man. Look at that damage. Holy moly. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, you can just compare the previous video and just see this. And what's crazy is, with trade gear, right, this can get so much stronger. Like it needs to, though. Oh, I don't know about so much stronger. At this point, my solo self-found hardcore is kind of getting close to the point where a trade character of mine would be, right? Like, you know, the word traps don't have a good corruption, you know, the Steel Shade just basically has a 2-socket puzzle box. I mean, that's the corruption. That's the best one we've been able to get. So, I mean, it's not the best, right? But, yeah, I mean, you know. Alright. Alright, but that's how you do it, man. Utter insanity. Now, will this weapon get nerfed, you know? Will this skill get nerfed? Yeah, probably a little bit. I don't know. That being said, though, there's plenty of abilities that can map faster, quote-unquote, when you have the gear. I think the main thing about this character, though, is you're able to map with very minimal gear. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but you know, it's at least a perceived problem. Dude, the cows can't even attack me anymore. Oh, that's crazy, man. Like before, they could maybe get a hit off, but sometimes they still can, but or at least one of them can. Oh man. Actually, no, let's check out that Might Aura Mercenary real fast. Let's see. Let's do it for the video for fun. Oh my god. Cow Queen wasn't even amped. That's brutal.
Afternoon.
By the way, on PD2 you can just hire one and the stuff will drop, so. Hellgaunt. Alright. So as you can see, you know, I'll lose I don't even know if I'll lose some health, to be honest, though, because I don't even think I'm gonna be doing this long enough. Let's see, I got Might Aura on him. Let's see, what's my damage? 22k. Hey, maybe that is worth it, actually. How much life do I lose, though? Yeah, because Mercenary Might's no joke. Like, that stuff's strong. The only thing, though, is, like I said, like, I think we'll see a little bit of a reduction of it in some effectiveness here. Maybe it doesn't matter, though, because, like, the procs and whatnot don't matter. I just do so much damage. Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. That's kind of cool. I'm still proccing quite a bit, you know, it's not insane, but... Because he only does concentrate. This is definitely what I'd do in software for sure if I wasn't worried about my HP. More damage. Oh man, this is some brutal stuff. Wow. Wow. Yeah, Fade's kind of cool. You can always just wait for the amp to go off if you're worried about jumping into dangerous cow packs. It takes like 4 seconds. Assassins are awesome. Oh my god, man, that's crazy. I'm like a live turret. As you can see, you know, giving yourself some damage ore is never a bad idea. Never a dull moment. Particularly when you damage ore at all your gear. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, you don't need amp at all, they just die so fast when you have this much damage. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not farming any more torches, but if we were, that would have been tragedy for sure. I saw it in the beginning, I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Dang. Look at that carnage. Already there's hardly any cows left. Yeah, see, his lack of coverage is definitely showing, though. I mean, he was definitely able to amp a lot more with the other setup, so... Yeah, you know... And also the fact that you lose HP, you know, on hardcore. I think I'm partial towards the other Mercenary, but this one... It's definitely got its benefits. Cows and a, you know, tier 3 cows, man, they're super tanky. And, rip through them like they're nothing, so... You just keep chaining. Let's see, what is my age? Yeah, see, it goes down to 1750, man. I mean, I guess I could use my 6 bows CTA. That would, get us up to 1800 at least. But then I guess I'd lose some base damage. That is rough, rough, rough. Well, against like dangerous cows, that would be concerning. Couple of good chunks toasted. But you know when I can just toast them first, right? You know. There's no problem there. Well, anyway. GG, everyone. This is peace out from my Blade Sin, and see you guys next season. Of course, I will also be showing off some more build showcases and some more things as well for this season, but she will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Dark Humility over and out.